right, so King Cooley here with Tom Gimbel from Foreigner. How you doing, man?
Doing great, thanks. How's it going?
Good, good. So, 40 years we're approaching here, huh?
It's hard to believe. I was just thinking about that, and it's been now decades. How many decades? It just shows how fast time is going.
It's crazy. I mean, when you think about it. Now, one thing I noticed that you guys are doing different here is I heard some rumors that Lou Gramm's actually going to pop up on a couple of these shows. Is that right?
I think so. Yeah, it's on the schedule, so we're certainly looking forward to it, and just kind of wait and see if, when, and where.
Now, how did that all come about?
It's been ongoing, I think. There was a sort of a reunion at the Songwriters Hall of Fame show, and I was there. Mick and Lou were inducted into the Songwriters Hall of Fame, and we played a few songs with the house band. That's the tradition at these events. So it was just a really good vibe. I think their relationship is something that only they know about, but they really seem to get along well. And afterwards, I gave Lou a hug, and he said, "I hope we can do some more of this someday." I don't think Lou wants to rejoin Foreigner and come out and play 120 shows a year. That's what we do. That's what we've been doing. And I think at the time he left, he had said, I can't really do that kind of touring. He wanted to tour on his own terms with his own band, and that's what he's been doing. So everything is pretty cool. And, we love him, we miss him, and we understood why he wanted to do things the way he did.
Now, it is kind of hard for him to tour, though, right? I mean, I understand with his illness and the medication he takes. I've seen him the last couple
Yeah.
times, and I see he has the oxygen machine hooked up where he has to take in between
Hmm.
songs.
Sometimes, yeah, depending on the venue. But yeah, he was really fortunate, and I think he told us at the time he was glad to be still with us. So we're really glad to still have him with us. And yeah, he's getting stronger all the time.
That's great. It really is.
Yeah.
Now, being in a band is kind of like being in a marriage. Would you think?
Yes, yes, about a 7-way or maybe 10-way marriage. Yeah.
Now, in this situation, I would say Kelly is the new husband in the situation. How's he feel about the ex-wife coming back for?
Oh, yeah, Kelly's very gracious, and we all have anybody in music, anybody that's ever heard the radio has a tremendous amount of respect and admiration for Lou. The top singers in rock, just so fantastic. So I think there's a lot of mutual admiration there, and the vibe is again just very, very cool, especially with the other guys in Foreigner, Rick Wills, bass player from back on the albums, Dennis. They've come and sat in with us. We've had a great time. So there's a very open situation there in terms of attitude.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
we love those guys.
you got to exactly. I mean, in a situation like that,
They're our heroes.
you got to
Yeah.
understand, like hey, it's let him do his thing just for a little bit.
Oh, it's going to be a blast. I think they already kind of like each other, but don't let anyone know. It's a secret.
Now, the last time I seen you guys, I seen there was a high riser in the middle of the crowd that Kelly climbed up and sang.
Mm-hmm.
You think
Sure.
you think Lou's gonna do that for one of the shows?
I don't know. I don't know, but he's a great, great man, and you cannot keep a great man like him down. So I wouldn't be surprised at anything.
Now, one thing I want to talk to you about is the element with classic rock bands where you guys can go ahead and make changes. You know, I mean,
Uh-huh.
in a situation like this, different singers, different that. I mean, if you look at bands like Molly Hatchet, I don't even think there's an original member in the band. You know what I mean?
They're just carrying the music forward. Sure.
Do you think years from now, like our children or our grandchildren, do you think bands will still be able to do that kind of thing?
I would imagine so. The music becomes the driving force, and that's what people come out to experience. In our case, this is a songwriter's strong suit. This band, it's really great songwriting and rock performing. So, especially nowadays, there are fewer bands like us around. So
That's
people
that,
do, yeah,
that's exactly what I'm saying. I mean,
yeah.
it's like the style of music that goes on. I don't think that once it's done, I think they'll be done. I mean, you guys have the opportunity where you can go ahead and pick somebody up like Kelly and throw them in there, and it's still a phenomenal show, and you're loving every second of it. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think that it'll have the same effect if Joe Schmo goes ahead and starts singing for Metallica 20 years from now.
Not sure. I hope so. I hope because people love. It's like a visit to yesteryear. Seeing a rock concert, old traditional, old school stuff. It's just like what I call rock values, core values. Drum solo, guitars, keyboards, and great lead singer, and these killer songs. I think that's a tradition that I hope will be carried on.
Well, I mean, one thing you do is you guys definitely keep on going on, and you always do something exciting. I mean, the tour with Kid Rock.
Yeah, that was wild. Hey, I forgot to mention saxophone. I can't believe I was listing those instruments. Saxophone, that's my baby. I'm looking at one right now.
Of course, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of the few key elements that you guys have that's a nice standout.
Yes, yes. But it's around in other bands. You'll find it Bob Seger, George Thorogood, the Rolling Stones. The saxophone, it's like just kind of lurking. It always stays around, just sort of hovering.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
It stays with
nowadays
us.
you see it more in like in a ska style of
Uh-huh.
music.
Horns, sure. They like trombones too.
Now,
That's fun.
how did you guys come about with the Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Do you remember that episode there?
Sure, the Foreigner Superpower Belt.
Yeah, man.
Something like that. I don't think that was anything on the part of Foreigner. I think that was someone that decided to do that, and it's been a lot of fun for us. We've had people show up at concerts wearing those belts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you can get them if you really want. Hey, it's great talking with you. I think I should probably get going. My phone's been beeping here, and I gotta call him back.
All right, man. I appreciate your time, and I know you
Yeah,
guys got a
Ramsey.
full summer of touring. Yeah, anybody that wants to go ahead and find out the dates, they can go to foreigner.com, and there'll be all the links for the tour dates, social media, and everything like that.
Uh-huh. Yes, we're having such a good time. Cheap Trick is phenomenal, and Jason Bonham with the Led Zeppelin Experience. Anyone that doesn't know Jason, he is the son of the drummer that was in Led Zeppelin, John Bonham.
Of
So
course.
Jason Bonham is a phenomenal talent, and he can really play these songs. He was actually in Foreigner for a few years. I got to work with him. We all got to know him and love him. So he's a real character. He talks to the crowd, tells little stories, and it's fantastic night of Led Zeppelin there. And then you have Cheap Trick, and then you have us. So it's a nice triple bill.
Definitely, man. Looking forward to it.
All right.
All right,
Thanks, Ramsey.
thank you. Take care.
Talk to you later. See ya. Bye-bye.